or did you start it through Google Hangouts?
Yeah, I started through Google Hangouts. That must have been a
Yeah, you're
problem.
supposed to
What
start
is
it
going
through
on YouTube?
YouTube.
Oh, oh, okay. Well, I did go through YouTube Upload, start a Hangout. That's how I did it. What is
Yeah.
going on YouTube? I'm your host, Leon Gunn, still with Soul of Gamer and Lion. We are doing an Assassin's Creed Syndicate a live stream on the announcement of the new game Assassin's Creed Syndicate. What are your guys' thoughts? Immediate
Uh,
thoughts.
yeah, I think
Well,
it looks awesome looking from the trailer.
so far it's
Mhm.
looking better than the last Assassin's Creed game. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I'm playing it right now, and it's way better.
Well, hopefully it won't be as
I'm
buggy.
playing Assassin now, and hopefully it is a better game. One of the features I saw in the trailer is what it looks. It's looking more like Grand Theft Auto, Assassin's Creed with the Grand Theft Auto engine, basically. How I have to put it, it almost looks more like Grand Theft Auto 5 than Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Combat. That's what it's starting to look more and more like. It's set in Victorian London. I think it was like 1860 something is what they were saying, 1862, around that time. So this was the time of Darwin, Jack the Ripper, or who was that other guy?
Sherlock Holmes.
I don't know. Sherlock Holmes, that's his name. I couldn't think of his name. It had those it's around that time era, and they have a lot of things that they could actually do in that timeline, since it is the Victorian London.
Yo, why couldn't they do it in France in 1886?
Is there a
I
particular
don't
reason
know.
for 1886?
Hmm?
Is there a particular reason 1886 would be your choice?
Yeah, the order.
Ah,
Yeah.
I'm bad with timelines.
Mhm.
I still think we should
Yeah.
have the greatest detective in the world ever. Batman, right? That was the name of Sherlock
Yeah,
Holmes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sherlock Holmes is a really good character figure for Assassin's Creed, right in with the assassins almost, of how it seems like he always seeks out the truth and stuff. So he would probably have a run in with the assassins if Assassin's Creed did exist, basically. So I would expect to see people like Sherlock Holmes have a run in with the new playable character.
How do you
I can't
how
think
would
of
you
his name.
feel if they tried to make Sherlock Holmes be a part of the assassin order?
That would be interesting.
I wouldn't have any problem with it. They did make people like Niccolo Machiavelli an assassin. They did make Leonardo da Vinci work with the assassin. So I'm not going
Yeah, like I can
to
see
be
Sherlock Holmes working with
surprised if they
that,
have.
but I think it would be very out of character for him to actually be an
Mhm.
assassin.
George Washington actually worked with the assassins. He worked with Connor, so he'd rather work with the assassins than the Templars. So you see this a lot through the historical figures actually conclu- conceding and working with the assassins. Al Mulim, the one from the original Assassin's Creed game, he was the actual historical figure of assassins in the game.
Yeah,
Yeah, also a leader of the assassins in real life. There's actually a real life assassin order
yeah.
back in the back in yeah. So I'm not gonna be surprised if they get these history with them. So I'm gonna be more. I want to know who else is going to be in this game besides people like Sherlock Holmes and others. I'm thinking more in the lines of what else was so big in the late 1800s Victorian England.
And that's just something you kind of got to see. I mean, because you remember in Assassin's Creed 3, they have
hmm
Benjamin Franklin in there, and sadly, he had a very small
hmm
role in that one. Like,
Actually, the thing,
he was so
hmm
non-existent in that game that they might as well not even have put him in there.
hmm
the
Yeah,
thing about
they
having
put him in. They did have a bigger role for him. And go ahead.
okay, the thing about having it being based in London around that time period is there was a lot of superstitions going on around that time as well, and
Mhm.
a whole lot of dealings with the royal family and the royal guard and all those other things that could really make for an interesting storyline for the Assassin's Creed universe. Um, there's no doubt in my mind that they could go into a lot of the mythos and lore from that time period and kind of give it a supernatural feel to it as well.
Mhm. Yeah, one of the characters, Evie and Jacob, their brother and sister. As I said before, it has the Grand Theft Auto feel to it. Where yes, they finally are putting a female in Assassin's Creed. Now shut up to all the people that bitched and moaned about it last year. It's in this game. Enough. I've heard enough about why isn't there a female, even though they've never heard of Aveline and Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. But Evie and Jacob, there's gonna be 2 points of what I'm gonna think about this. One of them is they could take like the idea of Grand Theft Auto 5 where you're playing Franklin and hey maybe I want to play Michael, and then you're playing Michael. It's like hey I want to be a psycho redneck now so I'll play Trevor. I think they might do it like that, or they might do it like this, like they did with Kingdom Hearts, the DS one. I can't think of the name of it, or no, not the DS one, the PSP one. That Kingdom Hearts game. You could play any character, and it has a different story, and it goes through the eyes of that character. So they could do it like that in this game. They could basically just like say, "Hey, guess what? I'm going to play. I'm going to go play through the eyes of. I'm going to play through the eyes of. And you have a totally different story, but nearly the same, but it has different aspects to it because you're playing through the eyes. Or if you want to play Jacob, you're playing a different style of story as well. Both these characters, they work for the underground criminal underbelly, basically, of the 1900s. So you're going to see a lot of dark things, maybe even Jack the Ripper.
It would be nice to see such things happen because London is a great place for storylines in general.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're most likely going to have you like solve a murder. They're probably going to carry over the whole murder solving thing from
Yeah,
Unity
from
and
Unity.
like make it more
Mm-hmm.
advanced, especially with having Sherlock Holmes involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, if
currently Sherlock
that's
Holmes
how
is
they could.
speculation.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
not sure Sherlock Holmes. They didn't say anything about Sherlock Holmes, but if they could add Sherlock Holmes in there, that'd be the point where they should add him in, is like murder mysteries and stuff like that. That's what I would want to put it as. It's just like, hey, there's a murder. Let the greatest detective in history handle him, Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, Sherlock Holmes would just walk around, uh, looking around, staying like, yeah. Shit.
I could see Sherlock
Stupid cell
Holmes
phone.
kicking some ass back in those days.
Yeah, I could too. I would love to see the Sherlock Holmes doing it. I'm not sure if he would be an assassin. He would be like a contributor with the assassins. I wouldn't see him much as a villain though. You couldn't see Sherlock Holmes as being a villain, or you'd have this like huge outcry of British citizens.
Yeah, it would be an interesting twist to have Sherlock Holmes be the villain of the assassins.
Hmm.
yeah, this really
I don't think he'll
interesting.
be a Templar.
Now that I think about this, like one, first of all, obviously Sherlock Holmes is a fictional character.
Right.
Not that that's a
Hmm.
different that not that that's a problem,
No.
but one of the problems that I do see is that you can't have Sherlock Holmes without um
When
uh
Watson.
no, not Watson. Damn it, I can't remember his name right now. Uh I mean his very opposite, his arch nemesis.
Professor
Hmm.
Moriarty.
Yeah, yeah. You can't have
Hmm.
Holmes without Moriarty, period. And the problem with that is that's a whole different storyline. That's a whole game in and of itself.
Hmm. But it could be like it's scheduled out as assassinate Moriarty.
Yeah. Or that can be a DLC or something.
That would
Hmm.
be kind of awesome. play as Sherlock Holmes in this DLC.
Are you kidding me? That would be a DLC worth buying, in my opinion. I mean, I
Yeah.
hate DLCs, but just like something separate like that where you just have Sherlock Holmes. I
As
mean, I
long as
did
it's
like, and
huge
it
like that.
wasn't historically accurate either. We don't have to talk about historically accuracy here. The DLC in Assassin's Creed 3 is a prime example of why they don't usually go with historical accuracy through the most part. King George, the
They
tyranny of
there
King George.
there are some historical accuracy there, but obviously they just like they'll shift things around and embellish things for the sake of the story.
Yeah, they try
Yeah,
to
like for
keep it
instance,
accurate to where they want it to be, but
Yeah.
it's like it's
mhm.
creative freedom, historical
Yeah.
Yeah,
accuracy.
and they use the creative freedom big time, and yeah, and I hold them up to high esteem for doing this. That they would still want to make their own storyline. They don't give a shit what people say. Yeah, they finally added a female character to it, but you could believe there would be a female assassin in Victorian London. That's what I have to say. Is
I
I
believe there
believe
could have been
it.
female assassins in a lot of the other games as well. I
Well,
think the reason that they took away from that is probably more due to hardware limitations and restrictions, not because you know women can't do things in those particular time eras, but I do think there was some
no.
restrictions on hardware for them.
Yeah, I mean Aveline was a stale character. She was good to a point, but the actress who was doing the voice didn't do that great of a job. PlayStation Vita game, they could have done well. And for people to say, "Oh, the PlayStation Vita is limited because it's a handheld," all I have to say is this: I played Killzone Mercenary on that Vita, and the acting in it was good. The combat in it was good. So if they can make an amazing first-person shooter on there, they could have made a really good female character. They just cut corners with that.
Yeah, cutting corners is part of the problem with things like
Mhm.
that. And in some ways, they have to do it because you've got a budget to deal with. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to fault them indefinitely for things like dealing with budgets
Mhm.
and all that. But it's hard not to fault them for other things that people are obviously going to potentially want. I'm not going to say that it makes the game worthless if they don't have
No.
it, but it's really hard to fault them for not
Mhm.
wanting to add certain things in to cut corners because these games are getting ridiculously expensive to make, and it's causing some stress on the industry. Really, they need to work on their budgeting a lot better and
Yeah.
work more within their limitations so they can add more without having it doesn't need to look perfect, but it just needs to look good. I mean, I've seen
Good.
some gorgeous games on the PS4 and the Xbox One and all that, but you don't need to have them look quite that crystal clear perfect for all your games and still end up pumping out a good game. It's
No. What I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at the cover for it. Here, I'll send you guys a link to the cover of it, but you will get a lot out of this. You will get a lot cover of the game itself of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. It actually says a lot. Usually when you look at the cover of a game, it says a lot. Like there's a few characters, some of them with knives. He has something which is called a cane sword, which you know how a hidden sword will pull out when you pull out of a cane, that type of design. He
Yep.
has a cane sword.
The cane sword is actually a signature weapon of Sherlock Holmes.
hmm Yeah, but right now it's showing it. And that cannon that's on his wrist, I think that's a grappling hook cannon. I think that's a zip cannon or whatever it's called, whatever it's going to be featured. I know there's one where you fired it kind of like on Attack of Titan, where you fire it and it like zips you up and rips you close to the thing.
Uh-huh.
I think that's what they're basically doing with this game. I'm gonna try to see if I can find a better image of it, but it's
It's like
kind
a
of what
more
it's looking like.
version of the rope dart.
Actually, it's actually under the hand. That top must be a gun, a hidden gun, or maybe like, yeah. Actually, what it's looking like right now is a gun design. It's a hexagon barrel. What I see on the female's wrist, look on her wrist. It's showing it as being a hexagon barrel. I'll put it Alright. It's showing, I'll put it in the comment section. God damn it. Work, you stupid thing. Computer slows up, sometimes it locks up, and yeah, this happens all the time. But what it's looking like under her arm is, shit. There it is. Oh well. What it looks like is, it looks kind of like looks like the bow and arrow, the Phantom Blade design. What it's looking like so far, what I'm seeing under her wrist. It looks like a Phantom Blade almost. It might be spring powered, but and right under it, there's kind of like a wheel, like a spring-loaded wheel that it'll like pull back almost, or it must be like an. It looks like a pressurized firing device with like a dart that sticks into whatever it comes across, and then the spring-loaded system will pull you up towards it. That's what it's looking like so far. The hands, on his hands, I see on their hands, it looks like a single shot firearm, because back then they had bullets. This is like the first Assassin's Creed game where they will actually have bullets for guns, not just black powder where you put the ball and stuff in. This is actually the time.
You're talking about cartridges.
Yes, cartridges. Yeah, cartridges. That's what I'm trying to get at. Thank you for correcting me there. Cartridges. This is the first time they'll have cartridges in an Assassin's Creed game, and it matches it. Right up at the top, you're seeing, it looks like there's like a ring that you're pulling it out right on the wrists. And you can pull it out, and it'll fire it. This is how some of the older gun, like how some of the designs, like hitting gun designs would work. You pull it back, and the pin would like smash into the firing primer of the cartridge and just shoot out the bullet. Ignite the powder bullets. Like at the top, there's a breech loading system at the top, what I'm seeing right now. So basically, they'll put the bullet in, they'll breech load the bullets, and they'll fire it through that. I think that's what that's going to be, or it could be something way different. I'm not sure, but it looks like there's going to be a wrist-mounted gun. But what the thing also showed was, it also showed in the game, it was a pistol. You have pistols as well, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. Is it either going to be a poisonous dart weapon, or it's going to be a bullet? Who knows?
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, I think. It's a time frame that's getting closer to current history, and I'm wondering if they intend on moving the Assassin's Creed games to more current history, like possibly get into the current U.S. history and whatnot. That could get rather interesting, actually.
Yeah, what this game is looking like right now is what they have plans for the future installments, and I'm more welcome. I'm open for this. And I'm seeing it on the guy to the left of the main assassin, the guy with the full beard and stuff and long hair. He has right in his pocket a Colt piece. It looks like a Colt peacemaker right in his pocket, right, or it could be a Webley, for all I know. Since this is in Europe, it could either be the American Colt Peacemaker or the Webley. I'm not sure which one it is, but he has it right in his front, right in his pants, just right at the barrels. But right now, what's sticking out is what I see is a revolver, and I see a hammer, I see the trigger, I see the revolving cylinder, and I see the handle of the gun, of the pistol itself. And I see one of them holding what it almost looks like a Bowie knife. One of the guys are holding. So right now we're seeing actual, and there's this guy in the background holding an actual bat in his hand. So we're seeing right now basically era. How do I put this? Times like guns of that, weapons of that time that you see. I'm not sure about the zipline shot thing. I'm not so sure about that, but I see the Bowie knife. I see the Peacemaker, or Webley, whatever you guys want to call it. I see the breech loading cartridge hand cannons. I see the bats. Yeah, everything. It all makes sense that right now they're actually getting the weapons of the times in there, and that's what's going to say about what the game's going to be like. You're not going to have a slow reload times, so I'm wondering if it's going to be fast-paced where you rapidly reload the pistols because, let's just face it, uh, trying to reload a cap and ball gun takes a lot longer than trying to put a cartridge in. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the game's going to look like. What do you guys think?
The thing that I really like about Assassin's Creed, period, is that everything that we can say about it will be nothing more than speculation until they reveal things, because they aren't afraid of like doing something different. Like
Mm-mm.
some other games, it's like yeah, they come out with an Assassin's Creed game basically every year, but every year is something significantly different from the last one. Right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
But
mean,
the thing difference about yeah,
even
okay,
with
sorry.
like take what was that one? Assassin's Creed Revelations.
Oh
Not
yeah.
everybody liked the bomb system, the bomb crafting system. I thought it was interesting, but there was one major flaw with it, is that they they didn't follow the basic rule, the first step to balancing, and that's dominant strategy. Like,
Mhm.
what bombs did you use in that game? You used the cherry bombs, the smoke bombs, and maybe poison gas, and that's about it.
I loved using the explosions. I just loved luring all the enemies in. I never used a trip mine system. I always used the impact ones. Or I would use the cherry, or I would use the timed ones, but mostly it was the impact ones. And the reason why is I could always get in a fight with those guys and just throw an impact at them and just blow them to smithereens. I
Yeah,
never used a trip mine. I never used the other one. I just used either the either the timed one where I could bounce against walls and hit enemies over on the different side, and those are usually with the cherry bomb or the smoke bomb, or I would use the impact one with I would use British black powder and shrapnel and just like kill everything in my sight.
yeah. Hey, it's like basically people only use the bombs that they already had in previous games, and that's ultimately why they took it out, because it was
Hmm.
useless.
Yeah, right now it actually might be useful. Let's just face it. A bomb system would be something should be used. And like I said before, they're taken from Grand Theft Auto 5, really, what it looks like right now, or more on the lines of Watch Dogs. Just to be safe for here, they're probably taking some of the designs of Watch Dogs.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I like Watch Dogs.
taking and borrowing ideas from different games to make a more polished and better game is
Yeah,
not a bad idea. It does have the unfortunate side effect sometimes, however, of making a game otherwise worse. I mean, let's face it, that's going to happen every now and then. It's just how
Mhm.
it is.
But this is going to be some interesting. Grand Theft Auto is set in Victorian London. Rockstar never did that. Yeah, they made a Grand Theft Auto style game set in the Old West as in Red Dead series, but
yeah, that's not the
yeah,
same.
no, that's not. This one is way different. I think this is going to be kind of like how Red Dead Redemption did with their weapons. They had all the weapons of the times of that time era, and I think they're going to do the same thing with this one. I have a feeling that the Maxim machine gun will make a will make an appearance in this game. I'm not sure yet, but at least I know the Gatling gun well because this was around this time.
Oh, they're gonna have a rail shooter in there.
Yeah, I have a feeling that there's going to be like a hold off 100 enemies, or at certain points in the map you could jump on it and grab a machine gun. They
Yeah,
do that, and
I'm willing to like call that they're gonna have like one person like driving a carriage, and you're gonna have to shoot at a bunch of other carriages.
one of the things they might add in is the horseless carriage, uh, which was basically a steam powered vehicle they had in back then.
Yep.
So I'm expecting to have like a Stanley Steamer style vehicle where you just drive it. It's a car that it would take a lot to start that car. You would have to you have to light the fuel source, let the boiler get up to heat, and then drive it. And it sounded like a train almost.
That's what I was gonna say.
It
Yeah,
was
that
like
thing
a
was loud. like
yeah.
like
So
freaking
I
diesel engines
expect
have
to
nothing
see
compared to that.
and those things were fast too. They went 70 miles. Surprised that they put something like that in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So yeah, right now everything. Go right ahead.
I'm really looking forward to all this. I mean, it catches my interest more than Unity was, for example. I was looking at
Mm-hmm.
Unity. I'm like, I think I can wait for that to go on special or something. But with this one, it looks
Mm-hmm.
like I'll actually be picking it up after I get some more information out after it comes out, and not wait for it to go on sale or something.
Mm-hmm.
I did like the
Right.
format
Right.
of Unity better than the other ones. Like
Mm-hmm.
because like the
Mm-hmm.
other ones where you just end up just waiting and then just countering because that was the best way to fight everybody. With this one, you couldn't do that. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
counter, but it won't be an instant
So,
kill.
like how I said with Unity, Unity was a tech demo almost of what they could do, what they're doing with their next game. And I keep trying to say that to everybody. One is the off Assassin's Creed game when they try to do something new. The first one's going to be a tech demo. That's what it always is. Unity was a tech demo, and I'm being cynical here, but Unity was a tech demo, and this game is the actual game because it's like Assassin's Creed's released every year, but I always say an actual Assassin's Creed game is released every other year because the first game is the tech demo, the second game is the actual release. Like Assassin's Creed 1 was the tech demo, Assassin's Creed 2 was an actual release.
Yeah,
Brotherhood, I might take flack for this. It was kind of a tech demo. Revelation was a full game.
no, I would say
3 was
Revelations
a
was
tech demo.
was the tech demo.
Mm-hmm. To a point, yeah, you could, but all the features of Brotherhood and more, basically, how I would have to put it. So, basically, yeah, Revelations 3 working with the Anvil Next engine because before that, the previous games like the first game was built on the Shimshur engine, and the second game was built on the Anvil. Third game, Brotherhood, also on the Anvil. Revelations on the Anvil. 3 was on the Anvil Next. 4 was
Mhm.
on the Anvil Next. Unity was on the Anvil Next, and I have a feeling that this one might be on the Anvil Next as well. So
I thought Unity was on a updated version of Anvil Next, like a
yeah, but
significant
yeah,
update to it.
basically it was, but it was still considered the Anvil Next, kind of like on an updated version of the Source engine.
But what
So
what I mean is like I thought it was on a version of Anvil where it's like it's enough to consider it like the third Anvil.
yeah, basically that's what it basically is. But yeah, it might be like the third Anvil, but this game right here, if that's probably the case, and that game was the tech demo of the newer engine, because yeah, I'm looking at it right now. There's nothing in here that says this is an Anvil Next engine game like what you would see in 3 and Unity, and even the recent one that just came out. What's the game called? Rogue. I played Rogue and I enjoyed Rogue. Rogue is one of my favorite games. It was an Anvil Next game, and I would suggest if you have a powerful enough PC and a controller, just get it on the PC because the PlayStation and Xbox were just outdated at the time. But when I played Rogue on the PC and stuff, one of the things I learned was that when they went to Paris, a little spoiler alert here, when you went to Paris, it looked a little downgraded from because you got to see Benjamin Franklin in the game because your character was good friends with Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, okay.
There was
Yeah, I
Benjamin
haven't played Rogue
Franklin,
yet.
yeah, in Rogue. You have to try it. But when you were in Paris, that's all I'm going to say about Paris is you were in Paris, but what happened is you're basically running around in this. You were trying to track someone down in the game, but when you were in the city and stuff, the city looked like it was below average graphics compared to like the PlayStation 4 version, Xbox One, and PC version of Unity. It looked way worse. So I think, yeah, it had to be an updated game engine. So if that's the case, Unity was a tech demo.
Which is unfortunate to think about, but it's possibly true. I'd like to say it's not, but then again, it could be. It does kind of feel like that was things like, say, the Windows, the Windows operating system. How it seems every other one is the better one.
Yeah, typically, yeah. But I can't disagree that Unity is a tech demo though, because especially when you take the story into consideration, because spoiler alert, they made it where all of this was useless. You didn't even need to go through all of this because they can't get to the piece of Eden.
It's the
Oh,
Matrix.
actually, you did get the piece of Eden in the ending, but
No, I'm talking about in modern day. There's no reason
oh
for them to
yeah,
hunt
but
it
they
down.
don't make a they didn't make a modern day story. All it was and everybody probably knew about this. It was you start out and you were playing that awesome story about the Templars being sieged, basically the Templar getting sieged by the assassins, and the time in history where the Templars were turned on by the assassins. You were in that era of time, so and it was like in the Middle Ages still, and you were just this like Templar, and you got sieged and stuff, and an assassin comes out and starts killing people, and you have to fight this guy to the death. And then, long story short, you put the sword back in a secret place, and then the assassin just comes out and kills the Templar, and the Templar Grandmaster gets burned at the stake. That's
Yeah.
how that basically began. And then it says and it shows different storylines like the pirate. It shows Aveline. It shows China. All that stuff. Ezio, Hatham. It shows all those stories you could play, but you can't play any of them. You have to play the Arno story because it's like assassin. I want to show you this assassin here. You have a chance to help us out. You have the choice either. If you choose to come with us, you're an assassin, basically, and that's how it started. It wasn't like a Desmond Miles, or even better yet, like how Rogue was, where you actually were in Abstergo Entertainment, like you were in Black Flag. Rogue was basically the same way. They
Uh-huh.
had to desert. You had to desert Abstergo Entertainment. A lot of people were evacuating Abstergo Entertainment because of there being a fire or something. So like or something happened at Abstergo Entertainment, so everybody evacuated. But that was a cover up for the fact that the Templars wanted to find the Templar Grandmaster who was in the game, or one of the Templar leaders wanted to find this story about a Templar, a former assassin who became a Templar.
I think in Rogue, I think this is supposed to be in the perspective of someone who was at their home, using a home version of the
No,
animals.
Rogue. No, that was Unity. Rogue was
That's what I meant to say. I meant to say Unity.
You were at Abstergo Labs like you were in
Yeah,
Black Flag.
yeah.
Unity was more like Unity was just like Liberation. Erudito actually interfered in Liberation. You
Uh
don't
huh.
know who Erudito is. He's the assassin hacker team, the assassin hacker team. But it was a guy talking to you this time. But in the game itself, in Unity itself, you were or Unity itself, it showed the Erudito team again, but this time it was being played by there were several people, a man and a woman, and Sean Hastings was actually in charge. If you actually read the database, the assassin database and stuff like that, like about the city and stuff, it's
Yeah.
like, pleased to meet you. My name is Sean Hastings. So you would know for a fact that Sean Hastings was leading the Erudito team this time, because if you remember in Black Flag, Sean and Rebecca were working inside the Abstergo Entertainment building as like a courier, and Sean was a barista basically.
Yeah, they didn't know who Erudito is either. We
Uh,
do find out who he is, though.
yeah, Yeah, he's a hacker basically. He's their
Well,
hacker.
no, it goes deeper than that.
Mhm.
If anybody who hasn't played Black Flag, yeah,
He was
man, I
yeah,
don't
they
want to
were
say it.
like
I really don't
I
want to
don't
say
either. But what I learned was that yeah, Eruditu caused a lot of trouble for the Templars. More trouble than Desmond did, if you want to think of it in one way.
There's nothing wrong with messing with the Templars.
No, there isn't. But that was awesome
But
though, that Abstergo found like Eruditu kind of like the Assassin's Creed version of Anonymous.
yeah, but Ernadito is one person. Well,
Go right ahead,
basically
say it.
the leader of Ernadito is like not really the assassins per se. He just kind of uses the assassins.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah,
definitely against
basically.
the Templars, so the assassins are useful to him.
Yeah, it's kind of like how we're a part of Gamergate and stuff like that. But I don't want to go much into Gamergate discussion here, but I'm using this as an example. Like for instance, Anonymous. We don't work with Anonymous. We have nothing to do with Anonymous, but they don't hate us. They don't hate anyone in Gamergate. So this is how I have to consider. That's kind of like how Eruditu is with the Assassins. It's like a group of rogues, and what Eruditu did in Liberation, which makes it seem like he was an assassin, was he basically because the Aveline story, they heavily edited it, so you had to do is like find Citizen X and kill him, and after you did, it showed like the actual story of what happened, not the edited part, and you would find this, and toward the ending of it, without going into much spoilers, after it ends with the supposed game and then it goes to like the Animus style credits. Because what happened in Liberation is what happened in Unity. You get hacked by Eruditu or whoever it was. Actually, the Assassin's Creed hacking team, the Assassins hacking team. But with Eruditu, with the Unity or with Liberation, you got hacked by Eruditu, and Eruditu said, "Here is the Eruditu edited script." Edited version of this film, and he basically edited out. He basically, or no, the Eruditu cut. That's what they called it. So you're playing and stuff, and you'd run into Citizen X after you finish this sequence. So you would kill Citizen X and would show the actual things, what's going on, what Abstergo didn't want you to see. And
Yeah,
toward the ending, it's like Aveline joined the Templars, and then she does the Templar motto. But what happens is she redeems herself, and you have to take out Citizen X, and just this amazing chase scene sequence. And after you take a Citizen X down, which is just like a computer program, you get to see the actual ending, and it's Aveline trying to redeem herself.
and
And
then
then,
like the Erudito thing is goes really deep
yeah,
in
I know it
the
does.
Assassin's Creed 3 multiplayer.
hmm
Like that was a big deal in AC3 multiplayer. Like all of the
I
videos and stuff.
I never really got into the AC through. Oh yeah, I saw what it says. Like you don't know what this actually is. Like it showed the drink that they were showing from Circo, that it was actually mind control device.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you can find all of the videos on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, I would suggest if you guys never saw it, just look it up. It's actually, to everybody that's watching this, it's actually a really good thing. They go deep in this game, just like for instance the hidden histories in Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood, where you find these glyphs and stuff, and it would just show it would show really weird things, like it would show like you trying to do these little puzzles and stuff, and it would show like George Washington with an apple of Eden, Napoleon Bonaparte, which has an apple of Eden, basically, and a bunch of other things like through myths and stuff that they were actually apples of Eden or pieces of Eden, like the swords from King Arthur and everyone had. All the historical figures had that a power had. It was the pieces of Eden, and it shows all this stuff, and it's like whoa, and you're just looking at it and stuff, and it's just like showing this like really weird form of history and stuff that they're trying to pull it around the Assassin's Creed and stuff. And toward the ending, Assassin's Creed 2 has been around out, and you guys could find the video, but it shows Adam and Eve trying to escape Eden with the apple, and that's
Yeah,
what they're showing. And that long story is they do stuff like that, and I didn't really see anything like that in Unity. I tried to, but I couldn't find anything like that.
Yeah, I don't recall. Man, I don't recall there being a whole lot of hidden stuff in Unity.
No, there
Like,
wasn't. All there
like
was
not real world stuff. Like, and no like historical stuff. Just like
no.
anything that's related to the actual mainline story. That's all
Mhm.
you would find.
Yeah, and I hope they do something like that with this new game, like have like hidden glyphs you can only see with Eagle Vision. And that's one more thing I want them to fix. Stop making Eagle Vision a limited time thing. That was so annoying.
Yeah, yeah. I can understand why they did it because of all of the features they put into it. Like all of the stuff it's capable of doing.
Mhm.
Like being able to see people through walls and
Mhm.
uh everybody showing up on your radar and all kinds of
Mhm.
stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
to that, I can understand why they did it.
Mhm. Yeah. What do you think of this whole thing, Saul? You've
Oh,
been quiet.
sorry, what was that?
You've been quiet.
Well, you guys keep talking, so I figured I'd
Yeah.
listen to you guys talk. um, I think that making limited time things isn't really that fun for video games in general. Well, when you're getting limited stuff, it speaks against the game to me to have
Mhm.
limited things happening. I like a game that lets me use the full level of a game without being limited in time frame or what have you. I don't know if you guys have played the Batman Arkham games.
Mhm.
I do like that. Almost everything you get in that isn't limited. You can get it later, some way or another. You know, there's always a way to get things. When people put limited things into in-game events, like it's been happening more often lately with
Mhm.
the games. Like you've seen it possibly in things like the Tomb Raider series, where they've added limited time ways of getting certain maps, and then you can't get it anymore because blah blah blah, this and that. Uh,
Yeah.
Things like Diablo 3 had those wings that you could get, but it was only for a limited time, and there was no way to get it afterwards. There was no way whatsoever. And you know, I get it; it's novelty, but people like those novelties, and saying, "Well, because you didn't get it right away, this happens."
They screw the game up.
Yeah, it makes it less fun for the players overall. Yeah, it makes it fun for collectors, but really it's not a physical thing to hold on to. It's not collectible per se. And your game is pretty much attached to your computer and your ID for that particular game. So you'd have to give the ID over to somebody else, and that's it's just annoying to me to
And
avoid letting somebody complete their game the way they want it to. And then there are the people who go too far, like let's say the Dead or Alive Final Bout or 5 or whatever it is. It has $280 frickin' dollars worth of DLC.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Don't remind me.
that's a serious part that I hope they fix. Is it's the microtransactions. I hope they learn from the last mistake. Usually Ubisoft does learn. It's like, okay, fans hate that. Let's not do that again.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
learned that
They
on They learned that on DRM. They learned that big time after
yeah,
like Assassin's Creed 2. It's like, okay, people got pissed off at us for the PC version. Everybody got pissed off at us because we put the PC version on as DRM. Let's not do that again, always online. Let's not do that again. We've learned our lesson. And so the rest of the games did not have always online like they did with 2. But I have a feeling that they're going to put what's it called? They might still have microtransactions, but I hope they don't.
there was one other thing with Unity. They almost messed up. They almost
What?
messed up huge. They took Unity off of Steam and said that they were only going to sell it on their platform. And then
And that's
after
that.
after the backlash, they put it right back on Steam like the next day. So yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I,
Ubisoft does learn. That's for sure. They will learn.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that their ability to learn from their past mistakes, unlike what EA does. Ubisoft actually, I could give them credit for one thing being better than EA is EA has amazing customer service. Don't get me wrong; they have the best customer service ever. Origin is one of the most strongest. Origin is one of the most strongest platforms EA ever did, like Steam-like platforms, because it. How do I put this? Origin, what it does is it locks. Or no, it actually works much better. It's much more stable than Steam. It holds. You could. They have better customer service for support and stuff like that. They give you free games. So that's the only good thing about EA. Uplay has nothing good.
Leon,
Yeah,
you're
Uplay is
complimenting
terrible.
EA. Somebody's gonna assassinate you now. Run.
I'm not afraid. I just gave EA a good rating on their Origin platform, but everything else they're doing is shit. Everything else EA is doing is shit. Origin is the best thing they could have ever done, and everything else is shit with them. Battlefront, yeah, I'm upset about that. But back to Assassin's Creed. One of the things I'm excited about is the weapons design and stuff. The weapons that they're showing in the picture. They have the revolvers. They have the Victorian style hidden weapons. That's something I want to see, is the Victorian style hidden weapons, because around the Victorian era, weapons designer, weaponsmiths had, because of the cartridge, they had a whole new way of making weapons, and they made these elegant hidden weapons. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with those.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Victorians, they did a lot in that era.
And it would be nice to see some more, unique weapons in
Hmm.
Assassin's Creed again, because that was
Hmm.
missing from Unity. It was like no fancy weapons. Like it went right back to basics of just,
Yeah, you had like what I'm using right now. My favorite design. They had the, they did have a grenade launcher in it. That was a good thing. I did like the
yeah,
grenade launcher from the DLC, but which they gave you for free. Just so
yeah,
everybody knows, it was yours for free. So, but what happened was is just the weapons designs and stuff. They gave you this time you could use a rifle and stuff instead of having a sword. So what you would have is this like giant rifle basically. You could use a rifle and stuff. They you could aim with, how do I put this design of a rifle? You had a rifle, you could either have a sword and pistol or you could just have a rifle. And what the
yeah.
rifle did is you used the butt of it and stuff. And it was actually a pretty effective weapon in Unity. And I'm wondering if they'll bring that back in Syndicate. I'm not sure yet.
Well, I know one thing I did like is the variety of different weapons that you can
Hmm.
select. I
Yeah.
mean, given a lot of them were under a microtransaction wall, but they still had a lot of good free weapons too.
Yeah.
And I really love using the katana. That was really good. The animations for it was so sweet,
The
and
what?
that's something. Well, Americans would pronounce it as katana.
Oh. Okay.
You
uh,
just diss on my pronunciation of katana.
and the animations for was actually different than what you would get from other single-handed weapons,
Hmm.
and I like that. That was sweet.
Yeah. But right now, one thing I want them to bring back, because they took this out of this new game, is the aiming feature with the gun. That's what I want back. What they put in Black Flag and Rogue. You could aim with the pistol. You could aim with the darts. You could aim with the ranged weapons. You couldn't do that in Unity. It was back to press the triangle button or press the L1 button to fire your weapon, not aim with your weapon. Like pull it out, aim with it, then fire. You don't
I
have that.
aimed with I aimed with weapons in Unity.
You couldn't really though. You couldn't shoot. You couldn't like have like a crosshairs and shoot with the pistol.
Well, I didn't use the pistol a whole lot. I mainly used
Hmm.
the hidden blades.
No,
Aiming
but
is
you
for suckers,
couldn't.
auto target for the win. Ah,
But I just have to say it like this: we need to have the aiming feature back, like the headshots and stuff like that. You need to have that back. That's
Yeah, I
what made
did.
Black Flag.
It would be
Amazing.
nice to have that as an option.
I
Yes.
did almost all headshots in Unity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at the weapons here in Unity right now. They have a lot of stuff. It's mostly just single shots, but they also had in here something. They had the pepper box weapons basically,
Uh-huh.
which were like just like the entire cylinders would revolve, and they would have different shots in each one, which the games didn't get right because it was really crap in real life. They fired like crap in real life, so I don't think they really got right.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh
Mm-hmm.
dear. Somebody just posted on the GG tag. In before, watch far, assassins, dogs, cry creed.
What? Assassin's Watchdogs.
In before, far, assassin, dogs, cry creed.
Oh,
Or
Far Cry.
watch far, assassin, dogs, cry creed.
Oh, okay. Oh man, I've been hearing that a lot lately. That Assassin's Creed has like Far Cry and Watch Dogs in it. Oh, God.
Seems that people.
There has
You know
been
what?
some very loose connections to each other. That's about it.
Yeah. You know what? Because Far Cry and Watch Dogs were Ubisoft games, I could see them taking the ideas. It's like, hey, let's take the Watch Dogs design and let's put it in a game.
Or it turns out that the entire universe is connected.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was some features, and I could talk about this one. In Watch Dogs, there's this, you know how you take these missions where you ambush and destroy the enemy that you have to take down?
Yeah.
He's like, this guy's a sick bastard, I have to take him out. And one of them was the CEO of Abstergo Entertainment from Black Flag, Olivier, I think his name is. You have to take him out in Watch Dogs. You have to waste him.
Yeah, there was a legitimate connection in Watch Dogs to
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed.
and a lot of people went ape shit over that, and I'm like, why get mad because they're trying to connect the two universes? I'd rather have them connect the two universes. Like, it would be better for the storyline. I mean, come on now, what would be better than Abstergo being responsible for the CEOS?
CTOS. So yeah.
CTOS, that's it. CTOS would be better than Watch Dogs being the responsible for that. That's
Although
right.
I really think them connecting Watch Dogs and Unity in such a Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed in such a way was so they could shut up everybody like me who's asking for a modern day Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. Enough with Unity. I'll flip on Watch Dogs now. I'm playing through games here.
I think we've discussed all the topics we can discuss about
Of
in the Assassin's Creed game at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's so much that's unknown. Like we literally
Yeah,
just
we
got
don't
the
know
announcement.
much. All I had to talk about really, what I've learned is that. Oh, and one more thing. It's not multiplayer.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
no
multiplayer.
multiplayer at all.
Yes, and that's a good thing.
We've actually discussed that a little bit earlier, I think.
Yeah, we did. And I discussed about the image and stuff. So yeah, we have not much else to discuss about this video or about this game, about this brand new game. Okay, I think we will end the live stream right about now. I've been your host, Leon Gunstill, with Lion and Solo Gamer, and I'm checking out. I'll see you guys later.
Take care.
Goodbye, everyone.
Shit, live stream won't turn off. Give me a second here. Live stream's not turning off. It's
Live stream being a bad boy.
no, my Google Plus is locking up again.
Ah.
Is it gonna work now? Are you gonna work now?